Hello there, you are welcome. It's another yet resounding update from our geopolitical stores. This time counting in at the world's largest economies in the world by 2025, with the pointer of elevation seemingly drifting from the west towards the Asian terror territory, India rising faster than we may have anticipated. Talking of 10 largest economies, India is the fastest growing major economy in the world. But did you know that the Indian economy is set to achieve an even greater and diverse blossoming in its country's growth and infrastructural developments within and outside the country? India will achieve the major feature of becoming the fourth largest economy by nominal GDP size in 2025, as per IMF's projections. India is currently the world's fifth largest economy as per 2024 rankings, but is expected to overtake Japan to move up to the fourth spot in the top 10 largest economies the world list, with a nominal GDP of $4,340 billion. In fact, the IMF has predicted that by 2025, India will become the world's third largest economy, surpassing the economy of Germany. Understanding the economic landscape of various countries will help you as you prepare for global expansion. Many businesses go global to access greater talent pools, reach new markets, and diversify their teams for better business continuity. With that being said, we've listed out the top 15 countries by GDP in 2024 as a guide. Click on any of the links to gain more in-depth reviews of these top countries. This is based on the most recent data available from the World Bank for Gross Domestic Product, GDP. Let's take a look at the top 10 largest economies in the world 2025, beginning at number 1. 1. The United States of America. Country GDP, $25.43 trillion. A number of factors contribute to the success of the United States. An entrepreneurial environment that encourages hard work and long hours certainly helps. But decentralized government, advanced research universities, and favorable regulatory environments also contribute. The United States will likely always be in the top countries by GDP in the world. 2. China. Country GDP $14.72 trillion. The Chinese economy, one of the fastest growing economies of the 21st century, now ranked as the second largest economy in the world, is currently valued at a GDP of $14.72 trillion. With China's Belt and Road Initiative effectively merging its foreign and economic policy, promotion of using the Chinese renminbi for the use of settlements has increased. The country is increasingly playing an influential role in the global economy. It has been the largest contributor to global growth since the financial crisis of 2008. Japan, country GDP $4.25 trillion. Japan's four main islands, Honshu, Hokkaido, Shikoku, and Kyushu, constitute nearly 98% of its land area. It has the world's third largest economy by nominal GDP and the fourth largest economy by purchasing power parity, PPP. Ranked as one of most innovative countries in the world, Japan is the world's largest electronic goods producer and the third largest automobile manufacturer. The country generally has a surplus in annual trade and international investment. The country's workforce is highly qualified and skilled, proving to be instrumental in organizational growth. All of these factors contribute to Japan being one of the top countries by GDP. 4. India. Country GDP $3.98 trillion, surpassing Germany as we count down into 2025. The Republic of India is a federal democracy that consists of 28 states and 8 union territories. It is the largest democracy and the fifth largest economy in the world, and ranked number 4 after 2024, ranking with a GDP that stood at $3.81 trillion. However, as the countdown into 2025 gradually hits on, India has been seen thriving significantly in manufacturing, technology, and service sectors. Since 2014, the rate of foreign direct investment, FDI inflows to India, has grown steadily as some key policy changes were incorporated by the government to facilitate this growth. This makes India one of the top countries by GDP in 2024. Some strategic steps have been taken to stimulate India's business environment, including reforms to remove bottlenecks in key business areas, reducing minimum capital requirement, and simplifying the process of obtaining necessary licenses. 5. Germany. Country GDP $3.85 trillion. Germany has the fourth largest GDP in the world. The total value of exports is equal to 38.9% of GDP. Germany is a European nation with the biggest drivers of its economy being its service industries, including telecommunication, healthcare, and tourism. The nation employs a social market economy that emphasizes the value of open market capitalism and also ensures a number of social services guarantees. The country is ranked number 2 in the world for entrepreneurship, only behind the United States, due to its skilled labor force, highly developed infrastructure, and technological expertise. 6. United Kingdom, country GDP $2.67 trillion. The United Kingdom, UK, also known as the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, consists of England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. It is the 6th largest economy in the world and the 2nd largest in Europe in terms of GDP. The UK ranked high in the annual Global Competitiveness Reports and the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business rankings until reporting was closed in 2020. 7. France, country GDP $2.63 trillion. France is the 7th largest economy in the world. It is the most visited destination in the world and consequently has a thriving tourism industry. It has a very high standard of living, which makes it an attractive travel destination. Also, foreign trade is an essential component of its economy. The value of imports, 38.6%, and exports, 34.7%, comprise 73.3% of the country's GDP. Strong protection of property rights and an efficient regulatory framework encourage investors. Before being discontinued in 2019, France ranked 32 in the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business Index. There are foreign players in various sectors, and 31 out of Fortune 500 companies are from this prominent EU member. 8. Country GDP $2.24 trillion. Russia has the largest landmass of all countries in the world and boasts natural resources worth $75 trillion, according to Statista estimates. Ever since the privatization of Russia's energy and defense-related sectors in the 1990s, the country has taken great strides when it comes to growth in the context of the world GDP. Revenues from oil, natural gas, and energy drive the Russian economy. Foreign trade is important as the total value of imports and exports is equal to 46.7% of GDP, making Russia one of the top countries by GDP. However, with the recent conflicts with Ukraine, we will likely see a negative impact from global sanctions impacting these outputs in years to come. Canada, country GDP $2.16 trillion. Canada has a mainly service-based economy. The threshold for foreign investment in Canada is CAD 5 million for direct investments and CAD 50 million for indirect investments. The country has also been a key member of the World Trade Organization, WTO, since 1995. It also has extensive trading ties with many nations due to its bilateral and regional free trade agreements, FTAs. A well-educated workforce, multicultural, multilingual coexistence, a thriving economy, and the government's support for setting up business make Canada a preferred investment destination. 10. Italy, country GDP $2.4 trillion. Italy's economy is the 3rd largest in the Eurozone and the 10th largest by GDP. In addition to its sizable economy, Italy is one of the most influential countries in Europe. It is a key member of the Eurozone, EU, the G7, the OECD, and the G20. India's GDP grew at a massive 8.4% during the October-December quarter of the financial year 2023-24, and the country continued to remain the fastest-growing major economy, poised to maintain its growth trajectory moving forward. India is set to remain the fastest-growing major economy in 2024, according to the latest International Monetary Fund's World Economic Outlook. In its latest outlook, the IMF raised India's growth projections for 2024 from 6.5% to 6.8%. India's economy grew 7.2% in 22-23 and 8.7% in 2021-22, respectively. Let's delve further into India's 2025 growth and top-ranking position by GDP. India's secondary sector, consisting of manufacturing and electricity industries, recorded significant growth of 8.4% on an annual basis. The growth rate for India's secondary sector stood at 5.9% during the same period of the last fiscal. Manufacturing witnessed an acceleration in growth at 7.0% for the first quarter of the current fiscal year on an annual basis, compared to 5.0% in FY24. The tertiary sector slipped to 7.2% annually, compared to its 10.7% growth in FY24. Growth for trade, hotels, transport, communications, and services related to broadcasting slowed to 5.7% on an annual basis, down from 9.7% in FY24. Meanwhile, financial, real estate, and professional services fell from 12.6% in FY23 to 7.1% in the first quarter of FY25, year-on-year. Public administration and defense, however, recorded a growth of 9.5% in Q1 FY24 on an annual basis, up from 8.3% in FY24. India was the fastest-growing major economy in the June quarter. Data shows better alignment between demand and supply sides of the economy in the June quarter, said Chief Economic Advisor V. Anantha Nageswaran. The Chief Economic Advisor stated that private consumption and investment pushed the Q1 numbers. GDP and GVA are moving forward, heading towards their trend growth rates, Nageswaran explained. The data for the April-June quarter holds significance as the evaluation comes after Prime Minister Narendra Modi secured a third term to form a government at the center in May. Experts anticipated moderate growth for this quarter, attributing their expectations to the general elections, a slump in urban consumption, and a revival in rural consumption. The Reserve Bank of India, RBI, had in August, during the last Monetary Policy Committee meeting, projected India's GDP to grow at 7.1% in Q1 FY25. Meanwhile, an ET poll of 14 economists projected GDP growth at 6.85%. After this soft start, we expect growth to gain ground for the rest of the year, taking the full-year average to 7% in FY25, said Radhika Rao, senior economist at DBS Bank. On the government's optimism about growth, the Indian economy retained its growth momentum in Q1 FY25, stated the Union Finance Ministry's monthly economic review released on August 22nd. India's key economic indicators present a positive outlook underpinned by robust domestic activity, improving external trade, and growing capital flows, the Finance Ministry noted in its monthly review report. On solid growth and moderating inflation, in a recent report, Moody's remained optimistic about India's economic growth in financial years 2025 and 2026. The credit rating agency anticipated India's GDP to grow at 7.2% in the financial year 2025 and 6.6% for FY26. From a macroeconomic perspective, the Indian economy is in a sweet spot, with a mix of solid growth and moderating inflation, the Moody's report read. Fitch also expected India's strong medium-term growth and robust external finances as key factors that would help drive the economy. The rating agency forecasted a GDP growth of 7.2% for FY25 and 6.5% for FY26, with public infrastructure driving this growth despite potential job creation concerns. Here is where we wrap things up for today. Hope you found this video interesting. Do not forget to like and share this video as part of supporting what we do. Goodbye for now.